How fit do you have to be to play golf for a living? What indeed constitutes fitness for a pro golfer? For Dylan Frittelli, the response would be different to that of Jaco van Zyl.
The program's different between the two players. It depends on what their goals are. Someone who starts out at the beginning, we really want to make sure we're working on movements, postural re-education, a lot of stability work, which is what I'm working on with Jaco. Once we've got that, I always say first move well, then move often. So I get them to move well first. With Dylan and someone in his case, now we're working on moving often. So he moves well, now I've got to get him moving under load and moving often. So the program sort of scales through that range as we go, from a sort of flexibility, mobility, through to stability, dynamic stability, and then through to strength and ultimately power. Golf is a power game these days, and it's important that players are able to express power. But you need to be able to do that from a stable base, and you need to be able to do it repeatedly over and over again, but still controlling the golf ball. So very complex, but we try and keep it as simple as possible.
I'm sure everyone's approach differs depending on a multitude of factors. And it depends what they ultimately want to get out of a fitness program.
Well, recently I've been working on Garth to resist rotation in the swing, on the backswing, and the follow through. I tend to have my upper body and my lower body sort of disengage and separate from each other, so I'm really just trying to strengthen that, and hopefully that workout in the gym can help improve my swing on the golf course.
His swing has served him well in a successful season, but that's no reason to just let it be.
It's the main reason I'm in the gym. It's doing something that's going to benefit and help my overall game, whether it's chipping and putting, but obviously the golf swing is a more dynamic exercise, so that's the thing that's really going to be helped by workout in the gym, whether it's strength training or a bit of physio, something like that's always going to help.
There's always that question of getting the right balance, how much time to spend in different areas.
Recently I've really been working on my downtime, trying to apportion the right amount of time to training, relaxation or rest, and then also to practice. So it's a big part of my routine. I'm logging every single hour I put in the gym or on the golf course, whether it's chipping, putting. I designate each time for each of those segments, and just managing it to try and stay away from injury, stay away from overworking, and try and improve that overall performance once I'm playing a tournament.
He has to believe the fitness regime is producing results. Though when you're in a new place each week, you have to keep disciplined.
That's the tricky part. When you're traveling, you don't have a lot of time to work out or stay in the gym, but I've really forced myself to get in the gym at least 3 or 4 times a week during a tournament week. I'm doing a lot more strength training during those weeks, and I'm able to keep that consistency and that strength throughout a 3, 4, 5 week travel period. So that for me has been the biggest improvement over the last year.
A winner in Austria on the European Tour is clearly making an increased impact in the world game.
Obviously you can take a look at wins, you can take a look at top 10s, top 20s, but I tend to look at the world rankings. I'm up to 84th in the world right now, so in the top 100 is definitely a great achievement and trending in the right direction. So hopefully next year I can see myself in the top 50 and playing in some world golf champs and majors.
Inevitably, that Lioness Open victory has given him an appetite for more and bigger success.
I want to try and get a win. If I can get a win in a big tournament, that can definitely propel me close to the top 50 and set me up for next year, hopefully getting in those majors and world golf champs. But just going to keep working hard and keep playing as many tournaments as I can, hopefully come back here in the South African summer and win a few tournaments here too.
I imagine there'd be similar sentiments from Jaco van Zyl. But first, he has to get himself back in the game.
Yeah, unfortunately, I got a micro tear in a tendon in my left wrist. That happened in Ireland, so that was already 2.5 months ago. So I've got more or less about another month to go.
At least he's been looking to use his downtime wisely.
Jaco van Zyl came to see me just actually after he had his injury. So he's had a lot of rehab that he's needed to do. First and foremost, just a bit of rest. But we've been working on his rehabilitation on that wrist, working quite closely with a hand specialist. And he's done a lot of good work with that. I mean, it's quite frustrating for Jaco, having to spend a lot of time just doing nothing, really. But in the interim, I've been able to do some really good foundational work with him. So really just trying to get him to move better so we can build sort of foundational fitness to really grow his physical literacy on top of that.
Spent a lot of time in the gym and you feel stronger, but I don't think it is quite adequate for what we need in our careers. So, 2013 was my last full season that I've played, and I've been pretty injury prone since then. and thought I'll try a very different way of training and working out, and it's coming on nicely. You know, obviously big changes. I'm in a wrist guard pretty much 24/7. The pain subsided, and you know, it's definitely getting stronger. Obviously core is really important. Unfortunately I'm not 23 anymore, so you know, the core tends to subside a little bit and retire before we do. So you know, I think in the long run your whole body overall will be a lot stronger and fitter.
You sense he needs a bit of good fortune after all his injury woes.
Hope to be back in action in a month's time. Started fitness training and strength training and flexibility on the wrist already, so you know, the splint is basically just to minimise movement during the day. But yeah, I think I'll be good to go mid-October, and you know, hopefully I'll be out in Italy.
The winner of 14 Sunshine Tour titles doesn't see his game changing significantly after this latest injury.
I've never been a very technical player, so I don't think it's going to affect my swing too much. Obviously not playing for 3.5 months, it's going to be really rusty. So you know, just going to try and be out there and play as much as I can and as often as I can, and you know, try and shake the rust off.
He certainly seems sold on this new fitness drill.
This training and warming up will become a really big part of my routine. I'm about 2 months into it now, and you know, like they say, it takes about 21 days for something to become routine or to break a habit. So you know, this will definitely become a really big part of my routine, and you know, I'll do it before I go out and play golf, and I'll try and squeeze a little bit in after a round of golf.
So Jaco and Dylan have their specific needs, everything sensitively tailored to the individual.
Working with professional golfers certainly has its challenges. I find that working with pros, you need to make sure that what you do is correct, because it has massive ramifications if it's not. Obviously, injury prevention is foremost when working with professional golfers. So if a golfer gets injured, he doesn't play golf, he doesn't get paid. He's not like a professional footballer who can lie on the couch playing PlayStation and still get £300,000 a week. So I've got to keep them in the game. And if they can play the tournament schedule that they want without getting injured, and that's really the first and foremost. Secondly, I'm really looking at allowing them to keep up with stresses and strains of playing the schedule with the traveling all over the world. And that really has its own challenges for them. But I really do enjoy spending time with them in tournament events as well, really getting them prepared and geared up for an event, and then working on their recovery afterwards as well. So, you know, it really is the whole package with working with the pros. You know, the rewards are there. It really is great to be a part of a team approach to helping a professional athlete achieve their goals and reach their dreams.
Golf, an individual game, but there's still an intense amount of teamwork and support.